Oh shit, here we go again.
My name's Zeo, and yep, you guessed it, here we go again. Wait, here we go again with what? This is one of those icky topics I don't like covering, but as an ambassador for this game, I feel like I have to. I also don't like to tell people what to do with their hard-earned money. So, what am I on about exactly? Well, you've probably seen the news post the other day. In that post, they announced the upcoming rollout of the upgrade to the Lars series of paid augment capsules. In addition to that, they also announced the release of paid EX augments. The response to it was about what you'd expect. Okay, I know what you're thinking.
But still, they've been doing this for years. What is it gonna do now? They've told about let's make this video, they're doing that shit.
Ladies and gentlemen, Taz has left the building. They're not entirely wrong, but there are some things coming down the pike in this next year that might change things, but we'll wrap back around to that here in a bit. But first, let's examine how we got here. This goes all the way back to base PSO2 on JP. They didn't start putting stat capsules into AC scratches until about 2015, I believe. And those were made obtainable through the recycle shop as they rolled out stronger ones. Of course, this trend would continue with NGS in December of 2021 with the first AC support scratch. And then in June of 2023, they rolled out the XD capsules, which replaced ADDI. Fast forward to May of 2024, we have an ADDI capsules. And then fast forward to May of this year, where we finally get RADDI, where we are now. But it didn't end there, and this was perhaps the tipping point for a lot of folks. At the end of May, they rolled out the Lars capsules, which could be used alongside RADDI. So, as of right now, that brings us to a whopping 8 paid augments across all of our equipment. So, let's use armor alone as an example, using Ship 1's prices as of this recording. Lars Def Parfait right now is a little under 20 mil. RADDI Def Parfait here is about 28 mil. So, 60 mil for the Larses, and 84 mil for the Raddies, so that's right around 144 million meseta in total. It's cheaper if you swap Deft out with something else though. So with that, you can see how this is a major tipping point. So the announcement of the upcoming Lars upgrade and the upcoming paid EX augment has sparked the same discussion that we've had every time these things are announced. This has prompted some to urge people to engage in the B word whenever they roll out one of these.
Bitch.
Not that B word, because Lord knows there's a lot of that. I'm talking about that one B word that makes corpos reconsider their decisions if it happens enough times. That's right. Boycott. But for this to be truly effective, not only would people have to abstain from scratching on these things, but also buying the items produced from said scratches. But here's the thing, folks, and I'm gonna keep it $1.50 with you here. I don't think there are enough people in the community on both sides of the Pacific willing to go to those lengths. I don't see too many people holding onto their wallets and their meseta with this thing. I'm not crazy about this system, and I wish it didn't exist. But you know what? I like big number. I like making big number bigger. I like cracking off those big spicy critical hits. Facilitating that, however, means doing things I don't necessarily like. In this case, it's either throwing money at the support scratch or spending meseta on those particular items. They get their bag one way or another. There is some psychology here, as it plays on our lizard brain desire to get stronger. This might not be a thing for too much longer though. I did say I'd wrap back around to that at the beginning, so here we are. The pay-to-win capsule announcement dovetails nicely with a video put out by Gothic Therapy dealing with a Ragnarok situation for AAA gaming over the coming year. Shout out to Rooks37 for sharing this.
But is it really AAA, no?
Maybe not, but one of the things put forward in that video will have a direct impact on how SEGA does business with this game. You probably heard about lawsuits pertaining to video games over the years. You know, video games cause violence, video games cause addiction, stuff like that. Well, that's only the tip of the iceberg. Right now, there are over 100 active cases dealing with things like predatory monetization, addiction mechanics, and behavior manipulation. And all these cases are going to start going to trial over the next year as their discovery phases wrap up. So pay attention within these next 6 months as these cases close and verdicts come in and precedents start being set. If any of these cases land, then that's going to have a seismic impact on live service games like PSO2NGS, and that's just here in the States. No telling how many cases there are like this in Japan and Europe. If any of these cases lands, that's going to send these studios back to the drawing board when it comes to monetization, reward structure, and retention loops. So that means they'd have to gut both the AC and SG support scratches and provide another means of obtaining similar augment capsules, ideally from playing the actual game. Then that means they'd have to actually make enjoyable content worth doing. Oh my goodness. That is what we want, right? But knowing them, these augments will probably have a ridiculous recipe with capsules that have a stupidly low drop rate. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. What they have in the pipeline for the next 6 months is what they have. But for now, if these bother you that much, the best advice I could give is something that I said early last year. If you feel convicted to boycott something for whatever reason, go for it. If you encounter someone who isn't of like mind, please leave them be. This shit isn't really necessary to beat relevant content anyhow. Plenty of folks have beaten the toughest fights in the game when they were new without it. You'll be totally a-okay without Ratty, Urza, EXA, BC, whatever they roll out. Anyway, what do you guys think? What are some of your biggest concerns with these upcoming lawsuits? You know how much I love chopping it up with you guys in the comments section and on the streams. Come on by and hang out sometime, we'd love to have you. Anyway, that's a wrap. I hope you have a blessed day. And remember, to thine own self be true. Until next time, farewell.